everyone. This is Nichel Anderson, and this is my podcast show, Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this particular episode. I'm very excited in, discussing new strategies to help you on your journey moving forward. All right. And before we get into that, let me go ahead and say my prayer, which is, in this day, I give all praise to God, Jesus, for blessing me to have this podcast show for the survivors of the journey that aims to inspire. That's my goal. And to motivate those that on their own journey that they will continue to have joy and this peace of mind. That's so important. And think to do forward moving action of positive energy vibes and for their sustained success. That's my mission. In the name of the Lord, I give all praise. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Amen. And we're going to get into this, okay? So today, I felt that the power of laughter, and to discuss that in a way that this can help you. My focus is dealing with at the job or regular day life, right? Not your career. But so I wanted to focus on the aspect of laughing, and how that can help you to realize it's a game changer. It helps in so many different ways, and to take the time to focus on that as using that as a way to maneuver, doing your everyday, either at work or at home or what have you. So let's go ahead and get into this. So I like to start off with my important point and then my wisdom point. So that's the segment we're going to get into. And the important point I know I'm kind of like moving right on ahead because I'm really excited about it. I was thinking like this would be a great topic just to focus on the power of laughing. The important point that I want to say is when you have the ability to laugh, you remain calm. Okay, you acknowledge the flip side of whatever is going on and you're able to laugh about it. I know you probably heard that before, but if you really kind of look at the power of that, that is your hidden asset. Now, if you have to be an executive, you can be this everyday person, what have you. And what you're doing is you actually attuning to the bigger picture of things, a situation that you're going through, and you're finding a balance to it. You're assessing it and then finding a balance to acceptance that you can laugh about it. That's your power. So that's the most important point I want you to get from today. And in this particular segment that I need to reiterate what I'm focusing on, I know I'm calling it the executive game changer, why laughter is your hidden asset. That gets me to my next point here, which is my wisdom point for you to take away overall. And that is that when we laugh, we get aligned to what is and what is not in alignment. That forces us to choose to accept whatever it is that we're going through and just to know it is what it is. Like, for example, in my own, I can say creativity side of writing and wanted to produce my book into a film. The waiting period, I could be grabbing about this or that. But what I've done is learn even more skills, particularly in Adobe, because Adobe got so many softwares or what have you. And it's a very technical type skill set to have. And then even in the music part of the sound that goes with knowing film, and by me doing podcasting, I use those skills to be able to, I would like to say, a master that I'm an engineer of my own album. My first album that I released, I designed the whole blueprint of what songs, I did the lyrics. So I'm taking that as I await that moment when I am able to do my film, and I'm going to be screaming, hallelujah, when I finally get that done. But in the meantime, I can laugh about it like during the wait, I became a master of several different skills to complete a project like that. Because music is a whole different universe I had learned by being around so many talented musicians and what have you. So I can laugh about it. That relieves the stress, that relieves any other type of emotion that can keep you stagnated, right? Or keep you stuck in a certain mindset and expand from that. The other wisdom point I can say about ability to laugh about it is that it makes you feel more in tune to the universe of what the universe is giving you in the meantime by putting in the effort anyway, even though you haven't received what you're waiting to do. You hear me on that? So that's a very powerful acknowledgement of it. Because I can say on another business side of my brand of Mole is that my other brand, the skincare brand, for example, I learned how to understand the technical side of how to position a website, a business, what have you. It's all about connecting to your target demographic and what type of words or phrases they're looking for that you can match up to their needs, right? So that can be SEO, that can be all these other type of long string type search type things, to be understanding of it. And so I use that opportunity with these masters that have been doing it for years, right? And learned how to use the same language that they use, know how to look at things differently. I can look at a report and the data sheet so fast and understand and can keep up with them. So I took that time to laugh about, it is what it is. You become a master just learning, waiting for that moment till you get your breakthrough. And that helped me, and now I feel definitely in tune. I always like data and analyzing, but it really made me in tune then, but kind of get to that feel. So let's move now to my next segment. So my next segment, because I don't want this to be too long, I want it to be very 1, 2, 3 and ABC, and you receive what I want to receive, that I'm excited about. If we just take a moment to look at laughing about things, it helps us broaden our insight and our overview to move forward out of a stagnant type energy, whatever that's defined of the situation. So there's 3 points to this. How powerful. Just the ability to laugh. That's your hidden asset. Okay, the first one is health factor. That's your wealth factor. Why is this so? Well, the cortex command, the physical stress release, and all of that represents to laugh is a physical override mechanism, I should say, for the body stress response, particularly in the workplace, particularly if you're in higher management. And even if you're not, the stress can be it can be silent and also very devastating to the body. So ability to know to not react in a way that will cause it, and to laugh about it. Okay, I guess, see the flip side of it, I should say. Well, let's talk about the cortisol flush. Laughter has been clinically shown to decrease the levels of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and adrenaline. This prevents the cortex overload that leads to burnout, and also it is very not good for your body. All right, so the endorphin, that's something else. It's like the physical act of some deep laughter that releases the endorphin. I might mess that up, y'all. I'm Southern. endorphins. So that's the body natural, feel good chemicals and all. So this promotes immediate sense of well-being and can even temporarily relieve physical pain, right? So all this is connected to the biological health factor, that is your wealth factor, and your cortex command center. To manage the physical stress release, laughter can help with that. Another thing is to note is the I'm gonna mess this up. Oxygenation boost. Okay? It's a belly laugh. Look, I'm laughing of my ability with my southern accent is to pronounce these words. But anyhow, I know y'all get this. Okay. So it's a belly laugh that increases your intake of oxygen rich air, stimulating your heart and your lungs and your muscles too. It's essentially like an internal jogging session for your organs. So oxygen is very good for your organs. It makes it very, well, as I say, keep it simple, healthy, so it can function to serve you, right? You just got to serve it by finding a way to reduce the environment that causes, or whatever situation causing the stress, is to laugh it out. The other thing is the vagus. I'm gonna mess that up too. Y'all love me, so I got to keep going. V as in Victor, AGUS, vagus, nerve stimulation. So laughter stimulates that particular nerve, which triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and the digest mode that balances out the fight or flight response of a busy lifestyle. So that's important because I've been there. I mean, you're so busy trying to get to work, you get there, you got all this going on, and then you leave. It's like a complete circus for 8 or 10 hours or what have you. Then you got to deal with traffic. So that's a lot on the overall body if you haven't had a release moment. And a release moment could be just, sometimes you can't really talk about everything because you're so busy, but finding a way to laugh, finding a way to kind of get it out helps to relieve all this stress so your body can process. So who are we talking about? I know I kind of mentioned it earlier, even in this title of this podcast, I'm calling it the executive game changer. So it can be executive, senior leadership, middle leadership, business owners, or what have you, or just you on the journey trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with this stress. Laugh it out, my brothers and sisters. That's how you do it. And what are the strategies for this? So you want to know your worth, you want to be your worth. Okay, with the laugh game, which I say is a game changer, is that it's your perspective to move forward. That is your success mentally and spiritually with no negative energy moving around you, trying to call you back and get all in your business. No, you ain't trying to deal with that. You're trying to focus on the things that you can control. And anything you can't control, laugh it out like, oh, well, I'm going to keep on going. You hear me? So that's how you would do with that. So let's go to the second point of this. Second point of this is the strategic factor is your success factor. That's what I like to frame it as. So why is this so? It's responding under pressure. Okay, the authority anchor using laughter in a high pressure environment is a power move. It signals pretty much to everyone, okay, in the room, what have you, who is in control of the narrative. And by doing that, not only that raises the confidence signal of yourself, but the confidence of the others in the room. Laughter provides that middle ground to kind of like see bigger picture of it all, especially in a crisis type communication or some stress. And it's a cognitive ease. It tells everyone that you are in control of the situation. You're going to figure out the problem. You're not threatening the problem. You're not running away from it. It prevents you from losing your cool, and it also can automatically reduce the stress and others around to remain cool as well. Then the pattern interrupter, that kind of connects to the under pressure. Teams often kind of spiral into panic mode, or even in your private life or what have you, if anything's going on in that regard. So it's a well-timed general laugh at the moment is to disrupt that current energy flow, because everything is energy, and to focus on the positive side. How can we get over this? How can we move forward? And that pivots from the fear. And I know I got segments, other episodes on fear. I call them Mr. Fear, to remove that and get to the problem solving of the discussion. The next thing about this is the link to a way to relax, to choose to be relaxed about it, or go into prayer. Prayer is so powerful, and it helps you to kind of laugh. We're going to find a way out of this. We got to. Ain't no other way. And that way kind of open up some opportunities to look at solutions to that, to calm down, to relax. That can be just taking a breather, counting to 10. I mean, that always works when I tell people, let me have you count to 10. And they do it and they fine. They laughing. And so that helps the way to move forward. And meditation helps definitely as well. Let's see. And I think I want to talk another one, the sustained factor of resilience. Yeah, it makes you be resilient to the ups and downs of what you can experience, particularly as an executive, because you are inundated with so many decisions that you have to make, so many different areas where a lot of people are pulling from your energy to get the answer, to know what to do, or what's the next move. Sometimes you have that the management already know what the next move that are under you, and sometimes it's just one problem or the next, and just laughing it out. Well, it can't get no worse than this. All the departments are having issues, so it's kind of like looking at that to show your authority, and that it brings forth the best in you and your leadership. You see them beyond the obstacle. So who I'm talking to, pretty much the same group of people that can be in business on a higher level or middle management or what have you. So that kind of helps it on that to kind of get a feel for it overall. What strategy you can do. So for this, what I'm talking about is strategic factor is your success factor. So I'm still talking about that. These are just examples to describe it and how it can appear in your everyday work life or your personal life. So now I'm at the point of what strategies to succeed. So authority of leadership is your demeanor, your energy, your presentation. You want to go about it in a strategic way. Laughter helps that to diffuse the intensity of the situation. So you can have, particularly your subordinates, to feel confident that you're the captain. You are the leader, okay? And even if it is a family type situation, you have the mic, I like to say. And that opens up your mindset to excel, to laugh it off. And you have other people around you like, well, if he or she laughing, I'm laughing too. I guess it's not that big idea. You see what I mean? So you take control of the room, you take control of the ability, just that act of using laughter as a way to break through as a sword, okay? Of the fear and of the uncertainty. All right. It defines you and it changes your aura. Everything is energy. And if your aura is in a element of a lion or a lioness in a calm way, okay, not warring, not yet at least, it makes everybody else in the room feel that they can still follow you because we're going to get through it. It removes the fear in any type of abnormality type situation. So let's move on to the next one here. So the next one I would like to say is focus on the master factor of owning your domain, your position of power by knowing the right time to implement the game changer that I'm calling today is laughter. That will pivot your mindset to be in the realm that I like to call, I titled it prestige leadership. Now, why is this so? So you want to have the right timing of when to apply laughter. Okay. So let's go through that. You would use it. So you would use it when you make a mistake, when a mistake happens and the team is looking for, I don't know, a reason of, okay, who did what and why. Laughter, we focus the energy on the fix and not the fault, right? So that's when you want to kind of make a joke and, or you don't have to make a joke, but lead into something that people will laugh or smile about. And I do want to pivot right quick. Smiling and laughing to me is the same thing. It's just, the intensity of it and how long that it is. Because smiling, you just smile and you can kind of let go and then you might smile later. But laughter can be like a quick little chuckle or it can be, any of that can get people excited to know what's the next thing you're going to say. What's the, you know what I'm saying? It really engaged people to be connected. Like, I need to listen in. She laughing, he laughing. This is interesting, something like that. And you do want to use it to humanize yourself during a tense type environment. Now, you don't want to use it, to be dismissive or it's a serious type of error or anything like going on like that. You want to show empathy and nothing that can take away from the person, well-being or their mindset. And the strategy that you can use that you want to laugh or have a funny way, to apply to a situation, with ease, less stressors and the spirit of we can do this instead of the spirit of you worry that the person can't do it or can't reposition or there's doubt or was asking questions of their ability and you will trust your instinct. So you will know. But these are just something just to kind of point out and it's good to talk about it. We want to be executives or leaders or even if not mother or father at home, you got your family. You want to be able to balance out the emotional, like I say 360 of life, the giving and receiving, and the ability to know, to see through the noise and laugh it off. Having a way to laugh is more about respecting of your ability to problem solve, your ability to assess, your ability to see the bigger picture. And as it says, this too shall pass. And not to be in the situation, but thinking outside of it and learn from it. Right? That it's something that you can show that you can rise above. And it's not, and rise above any setback is your comeback. You hear me? Okay. So I want to go ahead and pivot now to my segment where we're talking about your task to dusk to dawn. Just so right quick, if you just follow me and you want to know what is this segment that I'm about to start. Well, this segment is where I got it from Dr. W.B. Du Bois, one of my favorite person in history, and I love his work, and it was an autobiography of him, and they named it that, From Dusk to Dawn. And so that's what I named this segment, where this is your task to do. You can so choose if you do or not. Hopefully you do. And that is for you is to learn to perfect your emotional intelligence, to utilize the power of smiling or laughing, particularly laughing, because this is really the main focus of my episode today. To use laughter that brings profound blessings from health to your spiritual mindset that projects positive energies around. Relax, learn, and adapt with the laugh that can excel you to respond in a way that is forward moving, in a way that present your strategy as an executive or any type of management or any type of team member or any type of family member. This is like on a personal side at home. And that's your prestige leadership. It could be using tools to help you to track the situation where when you laugh, what was still result. When it happens again, you can either use that same technique or you'll flip it up and tell another joke, even if you did or did not. But what you're doing is looking at it like a journal. You could do that, and that helps, or at least a mental note, and you can use that going forward. And I really feel it's a game changer because that engage people to come closer to you. If you can laugh it off and keep going and find a different way, oh, they're going to remember you like, you know what? I like being around you. I'll work with you again, or, family reunion, this family unit, what have you. So it's a way to kind of connect and learn. All right. So I want to go ahead and end in this session with my motivational takeaway. And what that is, laughter heals our heart. And I mean that it does, in our mind and spirit well-being, especially our heart. With an emotional, healthy heart, you always reach a defined and sustained blueprint on how to move forward, leading you to your deserved success. So I know that was a long motivational statement, but I meant it because it's like I always kind of connect to food in a way. It's like the bowl of soup, good hearty soup. And so laughter relaxes us in a way, like I just mentioned earlier in my segment when I talked about the health part of it. And laughter helps us to heal the heart so we can be able to feel good about not only our well-being in the collective of who we are interacting with, no matter what level of management that you're with, but it builds that rapport. It builds the following of those that you manage or that you're in a family unit and you connecting. To me, family is a support mechanism to each other. It's the 360 of life. It's the giving and receiving. Laughing, helping not to point fingers and this and that. Of course, there's someone to keep doing something that's like, we got to talk. But nonetheless, the main point of laughing is to automatically pivot to the bigger picture, like an eagle that can all see all things when it's taking flight below. And to laugh it off in a way, I got the solution because I see it's coming down the street. Here come FedEx, or here come delivery guy with our food. Whatever it is, you foresee that you're going to find out the solution and you're going to apply it and it's going to work. It's the faith that we talk about in spiritual, the faith. Walk by faith. And with that, have a good laugh. Okay? All right. I appreciate you. Go to my website, nichelanderson.com. I do have wonderful products there on my website, particularly the consultation that I have is well available. You can definitely subscribe. My newsletter, yes, at the bottom of my website, you would just put your email in there and subscribe to that. And as well, check out my other items that I have with consultation or my book is available. So Corporate America Surviving Your Journey Towards Success is available on Amazon or what have you. You can go ahead and check that out. And if you want to leave a review, I appreciate you. At any rate, I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast show. And you have a good one. Talk to you in the next one. It rain never say a blessing. All the things of glory. Glory, His glory.